you all for taking the time to join us. Brenda pointed out this is still a holiday week for some, so I hope everyone is enjoying a little bit of a respite this week, and especially for those who were at the ITS World Congress last week in Atlanta. It was so good to see so many OmniAir members there and doing demonstrations. And we were doing a little recruiting for PlugFest, and we'll talk a little bit about that. It's coming up in early October. We have some updates, including welcoming a new member. We have some certifications we granted. We're going to give a preview of what's coming up at PlugFest. We'll talk about upcoming events and working group updates. And then we have an excellent guest speaker, Jeff Dailey, North Texas Tollway Authority, is really pushing ahead of all the tolling agencies, really probably the most in technology. And really exciting. I think a lot of things are happening in the tolling industry that's so exciting. I'm just broadcasting today from the North Carolina Transportation Summit, and there was a big press conference. You might see some news tomorrow about North Carolina's big pilot project on the future of tolling. It's going to include V2X-based tolling. It will include network V2X-based tolling and direct, and it will also more immediately be a telematics solution involving Volvo and Microsoft and Red Hat and MasterCard and a lot of really exciting companies. So I think this world's about to shift in a big way, and we're excited to be part of it. All right, let's move on to the next. So OmniAir ecosystem, for those who are not yet OmniAir members, not familiar with our organization, we do have quite the diversity of members. We go everywhere from automotive OEMs, tier one suppliers, cybersecurity companies, semiconductor manufacturers, systems integrators, test labs, device manufacturers, and importantly, infrastructure owner-operators. If you're not yet a member, but you would like to be a member or want more information, just click on that QR code and we'll be happy to get something to you. Next, please. We do have one new member to announce this month, Brand Motion, which is a former member, is now coming back. It's probably our third or fourth returning member this year. So I think that speaks well of the state of the industry and, of course, the quality of companies that we are partnering with. Do we have a representative from Brand Motion on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, please. The floor is yours. Please introduce yourself and the company to our members.
Sure. I'm Chad Jacobs. I'm head of partnerships for Brand Motion Solutions North America. We're based out of Novi, Michigan. We are primarily focused on the V2X installation and integration space. Most of the major DOT programs across the United States have had our involvement to some degree. We're really excited about the growth of the industry. We're also developing our own proprietary product that brings LTE and V2X notifications into one heads-up device.
Ooh.
We're really excited about that, and I'm pumped to be here to help shape things.
Well, that's awesome. I know Novi is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Ypsilanti, so we hope we see the Brand Motion team at PlugFest.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Glad to have you on board. All right, let's move on. So we do have a couple of certifications to announce, some big news from the tolling world. We issued our certification to TransCore. It's the very first ever OmniAir certified TDM tag. So for those not familiar with tolling, there are three major protocols, CGO, 6C, and of course TDM. And we have been doing for a couple of years now multi-protocol readers, but we've primarily only certified RFID tags that are 6C. And this is the first TDM one. So congratulations to TransCore. Congratulations also to the DECRA team that did the laboratory testing. And then also congratulations to TransCore on their multi-protocol reader. So it's the third one that we've done. And I think it's really helping to pave the way toward national toll interoperability. Well done. Next, please.
Sorry, it's stuck. One
Well,
second.
that's all right. So the slide you would be seeing if the slides advanced are for CAPTCH. So we have just issued certification to a CAPS RSU for C-V2X. So we're starting to see more and more Omniair certified RSUs in the marketplace. And what I think the importance of that is that it means that there'll be market choice for any IOO that wishes to require Omniair certification for their RSUs. It means you have trusted messages, you have interoperability, and environmental testing, all the great things that go with Omniair certification. And you can find more information about certified products on our website. We have a qualified product directory. If you're interested in applying for Omniair certification, just reach out to myself or any of the staff and take a look. There's even an application form online. Next, please. And oh my gosh, we even have more. We have a test system from Keysight. Not only does Omniair certify devices, we qualify the test systems, we authorize test laboratories, and Keysight has a comprehensive suite of testing solutions for CV2X, very important to the industry. They have updated that, and so we've issued a new certificate of compliance to Keysight for that test tool. So I know Keysight will be at Plugfest, and just wanted to wish congratulations to the Keysight team. I know it's not an easy thing to go through these audits, and it's well done, and it's going to be greatly appreciated by the industry. Next, please. All right, Plugfest. We just had an announcement in our newsletter yesterday about the early registrants, and I see that Ryan is having to shift around logos and add another one. Chunghwa Telecom just came in. Ryan, you might have to add Brad Motion into the next version of this. As of this morning, we had 21, maybe it's 22, 23 now. But we have a lot of early registrants. These are the organizations that are committed to testing, either offering a test station or having devices for test. Those test tickets are per company, and that's a team of 4 to 5 individuals that are afforded for that. And you can test with some of the leading test laboratories and test equipment providers from around the world. We even have National Institutes of Standards and Technologies coming back for some of their interoperability testing. Although I think travel is a little tricky for federal highways, we do have 2 other contractors, Leidos and Novus, who've been working closely with FHWA Saxton Labs, and they will definitely be there, and it's quite possible we'll have other US DOT representation. And then we will have announcements in the next week or so about contents for workshop and technical presentations throughout the week. And for that, we do have non-testing tickets. We have individual attendee tickets at very affordable price points, especially for the public sector. So if you are interested in just coming by, checking out what's happening at Plugfest, there is an opportunity to do that as well. Next, please. So very important for those, we do have hotel blocks. I'm going to ask for Ken DeCantlow to talk about this, what the hotel options are for those that are traveling from out of town. Looks like some really, really great rates.
All
For
right,
Ken.
but I'm here. All right, everybody. So we have a discounted hotel rate at the Fairfield by Marriott Inn Suites at Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti. It's just down the road from ACM. There are several hotels nearby. It is a game week on both ends, so book now. Also, this discount is available until Monday, so you'll want to go ahead and take advantage of this right now if you can. And the link is going to be in the chat shortly. And then Ryan's also created us a nice QR code if you wanted to go ahead and scan that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So for those not familiar with ACM, it is the American Center for Mobility. It is in Ypsilanti, Michigan, and it's just south of Ann Arbor and very close, within 20 minutes of the airport. We do have, in addition to the testing that we're doing, we do have a connected vehicle workshop / conference and technical demonstrations. We'll be putting together that agenda within the next week. So if you are interested in speaking or doing a demo or a technical deep dive on a test tool or standards or something like that, please do submit a form or reach out to one of the staff, and we are happy to try to work you into that schedule. And I should mention that our big sponsors for the event are SCMS Manager and, of course, the American Center for Mobility. So we are very excited about that. Next, please. And as part of our workshop, it's almost a workshop within a workshop. We'll be doing one specifically on vehicle to network to everything. So V to N to X or network V to X. LG Electronics. So if anyone attended the ITS World Congress, they had some really great live demos of what they're calling their soft V to X solution. Sasol Tech and Waytees will also be a part of that, and some of this will be kind of a showcase of what's happening in Korea. And we've promised everybody, we know that this is a Thanksgiving week for folks in Korea, so it's some maybe away from family. And Burkenda is putting plans together for a special day of Korean Thanksgiving. So look out for more information on that. Next, please. Okay, and if you have more questions about that, I know that there's a technical PlugFest working group that's been meeting and deciding on all what we're testing. That will be part of our working group updates. I'm going to call Randy Roebuck to the floor, let him quickly give us an update on our working group activity, and then I will introduce our guest speaker.
Hello, it's Randy. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Floor.
Okay. We had our 810 environmental document that was updated and it passed all the processes, and it'll go to the September board for approval. So that's being updated. In our cybersecurity group, we can continue to work test cases out there. They're looking to look to add the J3217, which is the VDEX tolling standard, and looking for that for misbehavior detection. And there's encryption involved and different security aspects. They're also been working a set of negative test cases for the 1609.2, and it's coming into our working group and their implementation. There is a new 1609.2 update going through the standards process that's entering its final balloting. Shouldn't affect us too much. The revised 1609.2, there's been an enhancement where there's 10 required test cases, and we believe that we can run that as part of a single test process to get all the answers. So we'll have that flexibility moving forward. And then also one of the key items in the cybersecurity group is operating org ID. That's just came effect in the standards and to be implemented in certificates. And we'll need to do some evaluation testing on that here at the upcoming PlugFest and moving forward. Our misbehavior detection Tiger team out of the security working group's been meeting. They meet next Monday, and they're drafted up a test case per the standard, and we'll see if we can do some type of testing demonstration for that to move that forward. Next slide. In our technical working group, we had Alan Davis and Victoria Coulter of GDOT present their ITS World Congress showcase that happened last week. It was greatly appreciated. We're also working our 762 J3161 protocol document, and we've discovered that if you're doing the two different radio configurations, there might be a parameter adjustment here and there that's needed in the testing process, and we're exploring that right now. We did have a pretty lengthy network V2X scoping discussion in our last couple of groups. There was a lot of network V2X demonstrations at World Congress, and hope to have some of them at PlugFest. So we're at the beginning portion of this, and we'll see what the six certification aspects look like and moving forward in network V2X. And we're also starting to incorporate the special vehicle extensions or non-passenger vehicle extensions in our test cases that came out in the 2022 and the 2024 standards, and looking to implement those in test cases here in the near term. In our connected intersection RSU working group, which also meets next Monday. They've been finalizing the CTI 4001 test cases that we had not been able to trust in the past, and looking to update that. We do have a connected intersections Tiger team is continuing their work for the 4501. A lot of the hard work in the SDOs on CTI 4501 and 4502, and a series of standards are coming to its final review and voting stages, and we'll be seeing a lot of those come out very late this year, early next year, and we'll need to start addressing some of those. And we've also been laying out a template on J3224, which is the sensor testing, which is the SDSM message, which a lot of you saw some of those messages being used at World Congress, and the Ann Arbor Tree test bed has a few of these also. So looking to move that forward. Our VDAX application working group, they're focused on pedestrian crossing warning, and their next meeting is September the 16th. Our AVD working group, we restarted that group this morning. The J3315 AVD draft passed its committee balloting. It's going to MVC administrative review and release, and we expect that to occur in the November and December timeframe. I actually presented on an AVD panel at ITS World Congress on the last day at 8 a.m., and we had a standing room only crowd with Qualcomm monitoring, then with Tree, myself, then two device manufacturers, Edifice and Spoke. A lot of people believe that this is something that really needs to be worked on, and actually, and some of the driving force is VDEX tolling. Our PlugFest Technical Planning Group, with all the work with ITS World Congress, we're in heavy lift this month, getting prepared for the ACM PlugFest occurring the first week of October. Next slide, please. The Tolling Emerging Payments Group, we've been working at 6C Coalition requirements where we're getting some clarifications on that, and working the group pretty hard. We actually got a lot of devices going through and really stabilizing this testing. We also prepared a tag parameter performance draft and sitting into the working group site, and they need to decide to take that to 14-day working group ballot on its revision. The RUC working group, they kind of took the summer off, but we did hold a VDAX tolling educational session in July, and they're looking to do a brainstorming session here in the next few weeks, and then they mentioned they'll be starting that group on a quarterly cadence. One of the activities that we'll be working is our J3217 technical aspects, probably throughout the other working groups, to move VDEX tolling forward, along with looking at RUC, which is a very good application for the network VDEX. And our certification working group, they had a meeting in this past month, and most of the discussion there was on ITS World Congress Atlanta activities. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Randy. And for anyone who's interested in joining an Omnier working group, reach out to Brakinda, or I'm sure there's a slide coming up that I'm speaking to too early, where you can sign up online. Upcoming events, we have ITS Midwest. Nick Hagemeyer, Drive Ohio, is the president of that and has invited Omnier to come and talk about our certification programs. So I'll be in Lexington for that. And then I will also be at that's on the 23rd, and on the 24th, I'll be in Salem, Oregon for our board meeting and annual strategy session. And then our next monthly membership meeting is October 2nd. We're trying out moving these meetings to the first Thursday of October of the month. Let us know, give us some feedback as to whether that cadence works well for folks. We're going to have some changes to the monthly membership meetings coming up the next few months, so stay tuned for that, and we'll have an announcement on a speaker. But speaking of speakers, I think our very next slide is the introduction of our guest speaker. And I can't think of a better person to kind of talk about this new and changing world of tolling. There's so many things that are happening in that space, from national toll interoperability, where Jeff has been one of the leaders, to the back office systems, to the looking at emerging technologies. Jeff is the leads operations at the North Texas Tollway Authority, which is a longstanding Omnier member. He also serves on our board of directors and is our treasurer. So if you have a money question, you can also ask Jeff. He also has a long and storied history in the tolling industry, having most recently served at the Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority, where he did some very interesting pilots on V2X-based tolling. Also spent a good bit of time at Illinois Tollway, which is a fairly new member for Omnier, and is also doing some innovative things in the tolling space. So I'll be interested to get Jeff's opinions on that, and then as well as some of the other big developments in this space. And with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Dailey and let him run the slideshow.
Thank you, Jason. You're too kind, too kind. Can you all see this? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Mhm.
Yeah, all
Oh my
right.
God! You have the wrong school there, but go ahead.
Well, I had to do this. I'm sorry. I went to Ohio State, so things are rolling good ever since earlier the national championship. We're off to a good start. I'm a Longhorn fan, but I went to Ohio State, so I got to put that out there. So go Bucks.
Oh my God! Yeah, who did they beat this weekend? Who did they surprise?
This is
Yeah, I
fun.
know. It was a tough game. Good game.
There you go.
Texas Longhorns. They'll have a good year. So will Eli. Arch. So anyway, yeah, what has it been? I've known you for about 10 years or so, Jason. We've been kind of working together when I started out
That's right.
at TCRMA. I think Michael Catalico was on here, and he and I worked together back when I was working 20 years ago at the Illinois Tollway, and we did the open road tolling and all that.
Oh
So
goodness.
it's crazy. I've been in the tolling business 20 years, and it's changed so much. But anyway, so what I want to do is just give you kind of overview of Ohio State, the North Texas Tollway Authority. I'm the Assistant Executive Director of Operations on James Hoffman's the Executive Director, his leadership team, and I'm over IT, operations, toll collections. So this is the agenda. There's about 25 slides here. There's some good pictures, I think, that'll help break up some of the words. But a little background, some things on innovation, what we're doing currently, artificial intelligence, and then what we're looking at in the future. Tolling in Texas, you can see the dark orange, the orange up there. Those are the counties that we do the tolling services for. The lighter yellow are regional mobility authorities throughout. So you really have the large agencies in Texas are Texas Department of Transportation, Harris County, HECTRA, and North Texas Tollway Authority. CTRMA, Central Texas Regional Mobility Authority, which I worked at for a number of years when I started working with Jason, is the largest regional mobility authority. So we've really got 3 back offices now. HECTRA recently took over the toll services for Texas Department of Transportation, and we do the tolling services for the Northeast Texas Regional Mobility Authority, which is Tyler area. That's what you see in the Northeast. So we've had some consolidation of the back offices in Texas. About our service area, we collect about $2.1 billion a year. 1.3 billion of that's on our system, but we also have our toll services agreements, and that includes those in the Dallas area and the Northeast Texas Regional Mobility Authority. The green roads here you see are the TxDOT roads, and that includes both P3s with Centra doing the LBJ and North Tarrant Express. These are all price managed lanes that we collect the tolls for in the Dallas region. So with a single toll services customer service provider in the Dallas, really in the Northeast Texas, and that makes it a much better experience for the customers. And so we've got about 3.2 million transactions a day. That's a little over a billion a year. 8 million toll tags, 5 million phone calls. It's about 450 plus thousand phone calls every month. Half of them are taken up by our interactive voice response system. Have a high customer service rating. We try to answer 91% of our calls within 30 seconds, and almost 1,200 lane miles. Then a little bit of our history here. Again, you can see the areas kind of in green are our planned projects, and the areas on the yellow there, the North DNT, we're actually doing a widening, which that just got completed, and then we're extending it further up. We're eventually probably going to end up toward Oklahoma. I'm halfway kidding, but a lot of expansion still going on in the Dallas area. There's 6 counties that we serve. There's 4 governing counties, and each county appoints two board members to our board, and the governor appoints one other one. So we answer to an appointed board that's overseen by counties and the governor. And you can see how we're growing. When I actually made a short stint in 2007, 8, setting up the major growth program. I'm a civil engineer, and was in the project delivery side of things, not so much on the customer service and technology back then. But you can see the huge growth in a matter of just less than 20 years. We're major growth in revenue and the lane mile. So we've got a huge debt load. Even though we're bringing in a lot of revenue, we've got a big debt load to pay off yet. Here's our organization, board of directors, James Hoffman, operations on right there in the middle. And then you have infrastructure, Elizabeth Mao. Many of you probably know her, met her. It's project delivery. She's pretty much she's overseen and managed the expansion of NTTA. They have the traffic management and maintenance. So I do everything IT, both internal enterprise IT systems, toll collections, roadway toll collections, back office, customer service. So NTTA is known for innovation. We introduced the first electronic toll tag system back in 1989. It was, you've heard Amtech previously. That was animal technology. Used to, you to track that, be able to track animals. So they used that and applied that to the toll at NTTA, so a way to track cars. And so that was an interesting history. You actually got a book about the history of NTTA here. So we've taken a lot of pride in being innovative. We did the all electronic conversion back in 2013. We actually started it in 2009 and completed it in 2013. And then we implemented a new back office back in 2021. And we're now in the process of changing out all our legacy services around it. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. So advanced traffic management, that's another one that NTTA, we've had traffic cameras on our systems for 15 years using instant detection. And we recently changed that out, and we've really, the technology has gotten so much better. We've had to ramp up our response services so that we can help clear debris and help motorists more so because it works so well. But we try to use all new technology, try to be innovative. You got to ride on the toll roads. You want to give the best level of service you can to your customers. And we also do that with our landscaping, try to give a little bit of a step up from basic landscaping to give people a better riding experience. We get a lot of good compliments on that. So a lot of focus on roadside safety services. We have had wrong way driver systems, both signage and active electronic detection of that in play, and we're continuing to expand that. so wrong way driving throughout our system. Safety Operations Center, we have a command control center there. The lane blade, you've probably seen some of that, where you just push the vehicles off to the side. Queue detection, dynamic messaging, video sensors. We've got cameras pretty much on most of our 80% of our roadways, and we're looking to close that gap here within the next year. So we'll have 100% coverage. A lot of sensors. New thing we're working on is a Tollmate app. I mean, we have a Tollmate app, but we want to use that for kind of an intro into piloting CV to X, connected vehicle safety communication and alerts into the vehicles of drivers that people have Tollmates. Will be able to through geofencing send notifications about queues, as well as wrong way driver alerts in there. They also can hit a button and say, hey, I'm stranded, come and get me, and we'll know the GPS location. I know that Mike Catalico, Illinois Tollway, has done that just recently, and they got work going on as well in this area. So we're getting ready to launch it. We're doing a lot of testing right now. Excited about that. You know, bring safety roadside information directly into the vehicles. It's kind of the first step of what we're all working here with Omni here. And by the way, the reason I've been a member of Omni here for a number of years, and probably the last 4 or 5 years on the board. But I love Omni here because to me, it gives you the early indicator into what's going on, what's real, because you have so much hype. As an agency, people want to sell you everything, but what's real and what's not. Omniair gives me the sense for that, and I like being a part of it to help advance technology. And there's a lot of good work and momentum going on in CV to X. So I think these are some of the use cases that will need to be, advanced, certified by Omniair. So there's a lot of work, but probably see a lot of growth in that area over the next 5 years. Now that the FCC's open things up a bit. Our major project initiatives, I think a lot of organizations throughout the US, when I talk to our peer agencies, they're going through really a big transformation here. You hear that transformation, digital transformation. What does that mean? Well, it really means you're changing out legacy systems using the cloud. We've got Workday changing out a 20-year-old ERP system. On-premise, we're using the Workday cloud. You got a maintenance asset management system. It's 15 years. We're changing that out. That'll be cloud-based. We'll have AI capabilities. So I actually be able to track and more proactively, more efficiently develop work plans, identify trends, and that sort of thing. The advanced traffic management system, we have a Lone Star system, and we're looking to replace and upgrade that with a more advanced system that can be more agile with the new technology, be able to connect our connected vehicle information, because vehicles are sensors with roadside sensors, and then provide the best information available to our drivers in the DFW area. So that's going on right now. It'll be a multi-year project. Looking at replacing several of our systems, our toll lane systems in there. We've replaced all our cameras. We're looking to do our readers and controllers. We have probably one of the few, not only toll agency that has in-house staff. Roadside, we have our own roadside teams. We don't contract with a vendor. We built our own roadside system with different technologies, TransCore, ETC or Quarterhill now, and Neology and others. So we continue to move that. I like it. It puts the onus a little bit more on us, but so far, knock on wood, it's working out good. If we want to throw a camera out in the road or different technology, do pilots, it's very easy to just have our staff go out there and do that. Lane level toll and ITS, again, we're going to look at trying to tie that in, enhance that. We've got to replace and upgrade our systems out there, and we want to tie that into our advanced traffic management system. Another thing is governance. Again, I think that's something that all the agencies are dealing with. Having process, procedures, cybersecurity is a constant issue. We talked a little bit about that earlier. It's no joke, and we've got to step up our games internally and have our foundation solid, but yet agile, and have process and be audible, and to stay on top of things. And I think a lot of agencies are making that transition right now. Pennsylvania Turnpike, Oklahoma, we talk a lot with them, and they're in Illinois, I think too, is the same, going through that. ServiceNow, that's the core systems of how we do our work, how we track our work orders, serving our internal customers better, the cybersecurity and data governance. We invest a lot, do managed services and all that to make sure that we're protected. And we're just now implementing data governance. We back it all up, but we need to set the table, map it all out, make sure we got the access set up right so that we can take advantage of AI. And we're developing an AI plan, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Setting up a center of excellence. So we have expertise internally as a hub and spoke. We can have train champions out in various departments so they can do more advanced and centralized control of the data and analytics, but more advanced analytics, and build the capacity within NTTA. So I mentioned the back office, and you can see here that diagram on the right. That went live in 2021, but there's a lot of different other major contracted out services that make that work. The customer service, our notification and invoicing for those that don't have a toll tag account. We have to send out, we have to find people and then send the invoices out. So that skip tracing to find people. If you can't find them on the DMV, you got to look them up through a skip tracing services. Collection services. If they don't pay, we got to track them down through collection agencies. Customer service support. We have in-house staff, but also a third of our staff is in-house, and 2/3 of it is contracted out. So it gives us ability to flex, and as well as having a core competency to help support that. So collection services, we went up to 4 agents, from 4 to 6 agencies, and then we split out. We used to have the call center support combined with collection services. There was a high level of turnover in the collection services than that area. So we split that out to much larger. These are 2 firms that they have over 1,000 employees, and so they can flex, and that's what they specialize in. And we are seeing really, really great performance levels on that. So that's going to be a game changer. You'll see there the advanced contact center. That's a game changer technology. You want to take advantage of that new advanced call center technology that's AI driven to help increase self-help, as well as improve the efficiency, as well as quality control of our agents. So we believe that could save us about 20% in our current costs. We spend about $20 million a year right now on call support. So that can be reduced by 20%. A new payment processor, giving people more options. Right now, all we do is credit card and debit card, and people can send in a check. So we're going to be adding, this time next year, we'll have wallets and ACH. ACH is the cheapest. For some reason, people like that, as well as being able to pay at various retail locations throughout the DFW area. So we already have that ability to pay through Fidelity and others, but this is going to put us right into Walmarts and things like that, and expand access to the people. So we had 14 contracts go live July 1st, and we've got 2 more major pieces that was light blue, the payment processor, advanced call center technology, that'll be going into play next year. And then something as simple as a new invoice. We had a focus group, and we took the input on that, and we test drove it, and it looks like it could actually increase our collections by 10 million a year just by having a new simplified invoice. So along with those 14 contracts, we put in a new invoice, a new registered rate. So if you have a toll tag, you get $1. Just say, for example, $1. That's the charge of a toll. If you don't, when we send you a bill, it costs you $2. So we're introduced a new rate because a lot of people don't want to for some reason, they don't put their tags in the windshield. So we have probably 20% of our transactions are supposed to have toll tags in them, but they don't. It costs us more money. It doesn't read 100% of the time. It's pretty good. The new camera technology is really good, but we want to incentivize people and give people a flexibility. So we're still incentivizing people to get a toll tag, but also if they put a credit card on their account, even if it's a zip cash, we got to mail it, we can give them a discount. So this has been a game changer for us. We implemented it in July, and we're already seeing big differences in customer behavior. So, and really the future, I think, is moving toward more license plate based and, you know, the GPS tolling. So this kind of helps us position us to be able to charge people equitably for the future. Parking, we also do parking services for the DFW Airport and Love Field, and that's about $150 million a year that we collect for them. Out of that $2 billion, there's a lot of transactions that we process for them. We have our toll tag T that's on the entry of the DFW and the Love Field area, so that's working out good. It helps to promote our brand. And we've also got a Universal Studios here for kids here in Frisco that's going to open up next year, and they're going to be tying in, and we're going to provide toll services for them. So again, it's expanding the brand, making it easier for customers to pay for parking. Interoperability, Michael Catalico is heavily involved in this. So we had the central region was set up in 2017. You can see there the dark gray, and we made the connection to the southeast. That's Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. That was 2023, and we're now working on an agreement with Easy Pass. That's the largest, oldest group of interoperable toll agencies, and so our goal is to have that connected next year. So that'll be big time. We did make a connection with the transportation corridor agencies in Orange County, and that's a direct connection to NTTA. So that's kind of like a dip in our toe, foot in the water. I mean, you know, dipping our toe in the water here just to get people comfortable. Right now, California law doesn't allow us to do two-way tolling. So if Vinny Valdez and his transportation corridor agencies customers drive on our NTTA roads, we'll get paid from him on that. It doesn't work the other way right now, but we'll have that full in a couple of years. It all depends on legislation that's currently in play and moving along. We have a revenue assurance committee. We meet every 2 weeks. So this drives our innovation. We're always looking at, hey, why can't we find certain transactions? Can we do things more efficient? So this is just like a dashboard. We show it to our board. So we're trying to stay on top of it and not just sitting on the way we've done things for 10 years. And that's resulted in over the last 3 years, 240 million more in collections. Artificial intelligence. Everybody's in on that. We've looked at what other agencies are doing, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania Turnpike, Illinois Tollway. So we're developing procedures, administrative procedures. On the surface, it seems simple, but it's not. You really have to make sure you got training. Texas put a new law that says you have AI training. Every agency that uses this has to have that. We were going to do it anyway, but you know, having a process that you vet users, who gets what access do you give them, and what access should you give to the AI programs? How do you evaluate new technology to make sure it's set up right, and the permitted applications? We've developed a roadmap, and we've already got, you know, basic type AI in play, machine learning. But as you can see with what I talked about, Workday, that's going to have built-in AI. ServiceNow, built-in AI. Advanced Contact Center, built-in AI. You've got the asset management, built-in AI, and then you've got the Advanced Contact Center system, which is going to be the biggest bang for the buck that we think that's going to come into play. So we will be heavily invested in AI, and we have to have knowledgeable people, a lot of awareness in place, you know, by 2027. The future, you know, I've been a member of IBTTA for 20 years. I'm on the board of directors right now, and it's been a very rewarding experience to have that. We have an emerging technology committee, and we've got a technology matrix that shows kind of the likely evolution from emerging technologies to mainstream that helps guide that. And that's something where Jason's come in and help speak to that committee multiple times a year. We use it, Omni-Air's work to input on that. This is a collaborative thing. Nobody has no one person has the answer. We get input from the entire industry. So we use this as a way to stay on top of things. GPS, GNS tolling, CVIT-X. I mean, everybody knows the benefits of this, right? It's going to improve the roadway experience for our drivers. It could really change tolling systems and reduce roadside infrastructure. The vehicles are your sensors. So there are systems and AI-driven traffic management systems out there that could essentially, I think, in the next 5-10 years, completely eliminate or reduce or greatly minimize the need for the roadside sensors. That's my opinion. I see it in work out at Las Vegas. They got a regional traffic management center, and CTRMA also installed something. TxDOT's also trying to roll that out. So that's going to be the future, and lots going to happen in the next 5 years, I believe. When I was at CTRMA, because talking about what JJ did, and JJ's always a great innovator. And I'm really interested to see what they're doing. We also have some pilot projects working with some with manufacturers in the works. But we did a pilot program with Ford, Capsch, and Siemens, and for runway driver, queue detection. We used a standard toll 45 Southwest and the Mopac Express, and Ford with the F-150 went through, and it's accurate. So it works. It works. I was really impressed at that time. And this is back in 2018, 19, I think it was. So it worked then. So we need to get a hold of this thing and then really start working on advancing that technology. Get our application certified and get it out on the road and start implementing this thing. It's not going to happen overnight, but I think if we're diligent over the next several years, it's going to be a game changer for toll collections as well as the safety and traveling public. So over the next 5 years, we're going to be refreshing our cameras. We're going to test the vehicle classification systems. That's the whole thing, that people want to get the loops out of the lanes. And then test and evaluate the GPS tooling. So we're looking for partners to work through that. Same thing for intelligent transportation system, developing our tollmate based detection. So hopefully that can be used as a basis and momentum for the in-vehicle applications, which should be coming. So with that, Jason, thanks for visiting NTTA. I've wrapped up my presentation. Hopefully it was informative, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Jeff. That's a whirlwind tour through a lot of really great information, a lot of great activities there. So let me just kind of start broadly. So it seems like you have a very broad mandate. It's a lot of balls that you have to juggle every day. But from the sort of leading operations for a major tolling agency, on the technology side, what issue keeps you up at night, and then what technology do you think holds the most promise to really improve efficiency of operations or safety or whatever problem you might have?
That's the back office system and cyber. There's so much dependent on our back office with so many systems being processed. So having good vendors, good staff, staying on top of that, because you cannot afford to lose that. So having great backup systems, the data systems and cyber, that's the other thing that keeps me up at night.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, cybersecurity is a huge issue. I know that, in the demonstration, the pilot demonstration they're talking about here in North Carolina, that cybersecurity came up in the panel discussion several times, and talking about multiple layers of security across the payment processing. And have you, has your agency seen any scares, any lessons learned that you have for other agencies and maybe sort of grappling with this and implementing new payment systems?
Well, we use a managed service, so a Mandiant, and so that keeps us aware of the environment and brings the expertise and any kind of trends going. And so it's out there. I mean, it's a good thing we have great services to make sure we've got that awareness. And by the way, we've built up kind of a peer exchange. The phishing that was going on, the smishing that was hitting everybody,
Yep.
that was hard. So it's out there and you see all these breaches. It hasn't hit us, knock on wood. But we're having to stay on it. But what's tough is, these legacy systems that IT others have, that's a real risk. So the more that agencies can kind of change their platform and making sure they're staying up to date on the vulnerabilities, that's a key thing.
Oh, that's very important. Let me ask one more question, then I'm going to open it up to the floor for everybody. You have some history here with some of the innovation you did at Illinois Tollway with Michael and company, and then also CTRMA, and of course here looking at. I was very intrigued by the third party app. I can't remember the name of that the
Tollmate.
Tollmate, that's right. So the Tollmate, and then evolving that into looking at VitaX and other solutions. Maybe could you just kind of give some thoughts from a tolling agency perspective that like what you'll be looking for in these technology solutions, and maybe some advice, as I'm sure you'll get a lot of inbounds from technology vendors on sort of how to approach those problems.
We're still trying to figure that out, but it's really, you don't want to overload, our users. And that's part of what I think we're going to have to work through on all these standards, try to make sure we're all coming together in a thoughtful way to make these things roll out easier for everybody. Because we can do our own rollout for our one-off that works here, but what's going to work for the rest of the region or the US, and that's something we have to, as agencies, when we're doing this stuff. And I know Michael, I keep on bringing Michael up. He's an innovator. So we got to think about that, So
Yeah.
Partnering with Omni-Air, the OEMs, that sort of thing, we've got to really work together, as well as, the mapping agencies. They're going to be big players in this. We're starting to
Sure.
build those partnerships, so we can collaborate and build something that fits into these other platforms.
Well, I mean, no one's doing it alone, right? It is partnerships, it's relationships and working together. Let's open this to the floor. Do we have anyone who has any questions? I'm not seeing anything in the chat box, but does someone just want to raise their hand? Oh, here we go. We've got one from Aaron Newman. Keysight, are the Longhorns working with the Aggies on any joint projects, thinking of the accelerator grant? Oh, that's an explosive question there.
I'm not aware of any. I'm sure there are. I'm sorry, I should know. When I was in Austin, we did a lot of work with Texas A&M. Texas A&M is up, TTI is up here working on some studies in the DFW area for the regional COG. And Longhorns, they got a good modeling. So I haven't seen them up here. They were down in Austin though.
Yeah, well, I learned a little bit about the rivalry when we had orange colored lanyards at a Texas Transportation Institute event, and I got an earful from Greg Winfrey about that. So it's a healthy rivalry. All right, do we have any other questions for Jeff? This is your one opportunity, everybody.
Yeah, I probably put everybody off when I put up that Buckeye, started out with that Buckeye screen. So
Well, no, Nick Hegemeyer is just loving it.
yeah, where's Nick? He's a Buckeye.
That's right. That's right. Well, so if we kind of like set the clock forward 5 years from now, how will tolling be different across the United States? What will we, as the kind of the consumers of tolling, the users of it, what will we see that's different?
Yeah, that's a good question. The interoperability, I think, is going to be the big thing, accelerator. Once we make the connection to easy, we're connected west, throughout the US. That's going to be the accelerant, because it's tough to make something universal, because we're really aligning ourselves. Each agency, each thing's going to align us, so then we can when we put a use case in play, that's going to make it ubiquitous, throughout the US. So I think that's going to be accelerator along with the CVX. In 5 years from now, we'll have our applications in place. So I really think in my opinion, we're going to see the game change happen in 5 to the 10-year range, as far as seeing in
5-10 years
toll modules and things like that, and CVDX.
We're going to hold you to it, and hopefully we're going to have to keep you in the job for another 10 years to see how it all plays out.
I see that Chad Jacobs said about what type of CVX applications.
Yeah.
It's really going to be the safety, the traveler information
Mm.
and warnings. I think that's the most important one that needs to be developed and refined, as well as the toll. And I'm sure I'm missing something.
That's all right. Well, maybe a little safety in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, I do think that what NTTA does that's impressive to me is that emphasis on the customer experience. And, one of my thoughts is that whatever comes out on VDEX-based tolling needs to be, or in-vehicle payments needs to be frictionless and a good kind of customer experience, because that's an area where you guys really shine.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've got to report to the board every month, stand up and report to them on what we're doing. So
Wow. That's a motivator. Well, Jeff, thank you so much for your presentation today. Thank you for your leadership and your wise counsel. And we look forward to hearing about some great things coming from NTTA in the near future.
and likewise, Jason, I appreciate that. I mean, it's a great, we all have to work together, right? I mean,
That's right. That's exactly right. It's a collective effort. Well, thank you, sir.